to call the November 5th meeting to order. Will the clerk please take roll call of the board members?
Supervisor Schmitter?
Here.
Councilman Seneca?
Here.
Councilman Pilara?
Here.
Councilwoman Dyson? Here. Councilwoman Moskowski? Here.
Everyone stand for the pledge of allegiance in a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please have a seat. Okay, so we have a few public hearings scheduled for today. The first one would be local law for the 2% tax. We're not going to do that one because we have a budget that will not need to raise the 2%, so it will not come into play. So we'll skip that one unless anybody wants to speak on it. We're going to close it at this time. We have other local law 5, providing for the appointment and compensation of a deputy town clerk of the town of Seneca Falls. Anybody want to comment on that? Yes. Stand up to the microphone, please.
I'm Shannon Falk. I don't know if this would include making an appeal to small logs being returned to police stations.
Is your microphone on here?
I don't know.
You gotta hold it far down.
This one might be.
Yeah.
This is not privilege of the floor, man. We're doing a public hearing, so you would wait for privilege of the floor for what you're talking about. I'll let you know when we're at the
That's
floor.
okay. I'll tell you what. I'll let you know. Is this on video, please? Good. This will be being submitted to the American with Disabilities Act for a violation of Title II, 1993, for people with trauma, like myself, who appreciated small dogs being in police stations. And I voted for you, and I voted for you, and I voted for you. What I didn't vote for are people like my narcissistic father, Democratic PAC money,
Ma'am, we're not at
lying
this
and
point.
lying. Thank you. No, this will go on my submission, and we can just bypass you altogether, or we could take it up with my lawyers down in New York City. I don't know. Let's see. Do we want to spend $9.95 an hour, $7.95, $2.50, or $12.95 to show that you violate rights in this town? Get it right. Put Tucker back in service for victims so we don't have to be upset and traumatized and file things with the Americans with Disabilities. But thank you for having it on video, and thank you for violating my rights.
Anybody want to speak on local law 5? We have another local law 6, which amends section 173.33 of the Seneca Falls Town Code. Does anybody want to speak on that? We have local law 7, public hearing on that, amendment chapter 300, article 14, solar energy systems. Anybody want to speak on that? Okay, this time we're going to propose budget. I'm going to have that. Go ahead.
I make a motion, we close all the public hearings.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so now at this point we're going to have the proposed budget here. The town manager please explain the budget.
Good evening, board and attendees. So the preliminary budget has been submitted to the board and the clerk's office based on the feedback of 2 workshops from the tentative budget that was submitted in October. Basically, the budget calls for expenditures of $14.94 million. That's approximately a 17% reduction in appropriations from the previous year, largely as a result of a delay in sidewalk rehabilitation grant called Safe Routes to School has been hung up, so there's about $4 million in funding that didn't come in that we won't have to spend next year. The landfill revenue has been reduced by 25%, given that there's uncertainty as to how the permitting process is going to go and what the actual space is that they will be able to generate revenue, so that reduced from approximately $4 million to $3 million. So you'll see a reduction in revenue along those lines too. There are two requests to spend reserve funds. The first request is $615,000 from the water department to improve their sedimentation removal process. So this is money that won't be part of either the rents paid by townspeople for water use or tax. It will come from an account for money that has been already saved for that purpose. But it is and does require a public referendum. So we'll have to set that up for next meeting before they can spend that. There's also $10,000 of funding from the A Fund Reserve for police equipment, that the same treatment needs to be made. So basically, the net of this is, with including a salary increase for all employees, including elected officials of 3.25%, we have a tax levy of going down by $250,000. So the tax levy for the town will be $3.565 million. So that's about a 7% decrease. So for those of you that know what your assessments are, if this budget is passed, the tax rate will be $5.16 per thousand. That's down from $5.57 per thousand. So it's approximately an 8% decrease in the tax rate. So, and I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone might have.
I do want to thank the department heads, especially Peter, for the hard work he's done, and the board for the hard work that was put in to get this budget done and saving the taxpayers money. Okay, so before we do privilege of floor, I just want to speak quickly about to close that public hearing. Can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor of closing?
Aye.
So before we go on to the front floor, I just want to update you where we are with the union. So we are following the proper procedures. We are very close to reaching an agreement between the town union and the union, okay? We expect it to be done probably this week, and at that point we will welcome the union with open arms into the town and get going that all your people want us to do. Okay, the union and the two attorneys have reached pretty much close agreement. There's one or two things we're trying to straighten out, but we expect it to be done by this week. So now at this point, we'll open up privilege of the floor.
Hello, my name is Sean Renzi. I am the Deputy Superintendent for the town of Seneca Falls Highway. Since the last board meeting, we have been informed that the town board voted in favor of the Department of Public Works, despite the resolution being tabled at the October board meeting until November. We sent a list of questions to Mr. Schmitter to answer regarding the Department of Public Works, as we are concerned about how the new department will impact our jobs. Mr. Schmitter sent us a response that did not answer all the questions we have. So we are hoping some of our questions that went unanswered are able to be answered tonight. So with that being said, I'd like to start by asking, what is the reason for creating the DPW, and what are you hoping the department will solve?
You can go ahead with your whole statement and then we'll continue.
That's it.
Okay.
That's the whole thing.
Okay. Anyone else for privilege of the floor? Okay.
Answer.
I-
Answer.
I will answer them, but I want to see if anyone else could talk about that before I go on. But
Hi, Tom Gabak, Cuban County Local 806 President. Came tonight with a prepared statement, and we're going to get after you guys pretty good. But it seems that you've had to change your heart and you're willing to at least work with us. And that is leaps and bounds of everything we need. One of the things that we do have in Cuban County is a labor management meeting monthly, and it solves a lot of problems. You guys can work things out together without arguing and being vindictive against each other. So I'm very glad that you are going to be making strides to get the union involved and include us, and then we can help with the whole process. CSEA has a lot of resources that at their disposal that they can come and share with you and help you guys through the process. So thanks again.
What was your name again?
Tom Gabak, G-A-B-A-K.
anyone else for privilege?
Hi, I'm Don Black, President of Seneca County Local 850. Members of the board, thank you for the opportunity to engage you in the honest conversation tonight. Really, my question stems just with qualifications and whether or not the job requirements for the staff is going to change with the DPW that's created. And whether, basically, whether there'll be additional work that the new workers will be required to do.
How's it going? My name is Cole Marr. I'm a water maintainer for the Water and Sewer Department of Town of Seneca Falls. My question is, why was the creation of the DPW not put to our vote for our community? And what current departments are being impacted by the DPW decisions? What will happen to those departments that are included?
Anyone else for privilege or floor?
No, that was the question. I was wondering who would impact it.
Good evening. I wanted to start this evening by directly thanking everyone on this board for always having the patience and hearing us every single month, almost every single month. We really do appreciate your generosity with the time, honestly. I just want to remind the board, Waterloo Container is located across the street from Seneca Meadows landfill, which is in large part why we have such constant issues regarding the landfill. I stand here tonight very alarmed by the glaring bias present in the recent study that was promoted by Seneca Meadows and released on Finger Lakes Run regarding potential health impacts of the landfill, particularly concerning lung cancer rates in the surrounding community. Before I continue, I just want to point out that it's already been reported on that McIntyre and Hoffman, the two authors of the report, one served in waste management for 3 years and one served in waste management for 10 years as an employee. It's utterly ridiculous that this study, which is funded by Seneca Meadows, was conducted by individuals with ties to waste management, one of the largest parent companies of mega landfills in the continental United States, which also happens to share a home state with Seneca Meadows' parent company, Waste Connections, in Texas. It raises serious questions about the integrity and objectivity of the findings presented. In stark contrast to this questionable research, we have credible evidence from a study published in the International Journal of Epidemiology at Columbia University, which took place over 12 years. The same study we referenced in the last board meeting. That esteemed journal, recognized for its rigorous standards, established a direct association between hydrogen sulfide exposure and severe health conditions, including lung cancer and respiratory diseases. This is not mere speculation, it's scientific fact. Yet in just 1 month at Waterloo Container, as we've mentioned now twice, H2S in August was detected at Waterloo Container over 52 times, spiked over 52 times over the 30 days in August at levels that exceeded irritant thresholds and well above the standards of regular ambient air as outlined by the CDC, World Health Organization, and Department of Health. This kind of exposure is not something we can afford to ignore. These spikes of H2S have continued to show up in recent months, and we continue to have regularly recurring landfill odor at, inside, and around our building. Prominent experts in public health, such as Dr. David Carpenter, recently quoted in an article, former director of the Institute of Health and Environmental Sciences at the University of Albany, have consistently warned us about the dire consequences of living near landfills. Just living near landfills. They're not talking about working across the street, remember. These warnings are echoed by countless studies and reports that reinforce the link between landfill proximity and negative health outcomes. There was also recently a presentation given by the Environmental Health Project that this town supervisor and council member Frank Seneca saw, where a massive plume of hydrocarbons not visible to the naked eye was seen surrounding, engulfing the entire sky surrounding the landfill. You can't see the air, but you certainly can smell it. It's there and it's poisoning us. Waterloo Container commends this board for its decision to table the landfill operating permit for the sole reason by considering that there were odor issues in the town. However, we must acknowledge these odors have not improved. They continue to disrupt our daily lives and our residents at our workplace, and they make some of our residents and employees ill. It's terrible, and it's very difficult for us to deal with as an employer. As we approach the next board meeting in December, when the permit is once again up for a vote, I urge every member of this board, carefully consider the implications of supporting this operating permit. If any of you have a rationale for voting in favor of the operating permit, sure, you are the elected official. It is your right. But we deserve a clear and honest explanation. As a reminder, this board voted time and time again to table this permit for the last 3 months because they said they would evaluate the odor issues and make their decision based on whether or not these odor issues persist or got resolved. So, if you're voting in favor of this permit next month, are you saying there are no longer odor issues? Are you saying there are no more code violations? What has changed? Again, the health and safety of our community is and must be our top priority. We must not be swayed by biased studies and hidden agendas. We owe it to our citizens to stand firm in protecting our well-being, and we owe it to business owners like Bill Lutz, who employ one of the largest businesses in the entire county. We owe it to people like that to protect them and their well-being. Thank you.
Can I comment on that? Can I say something? Okay. So, Mark, you come here every meeting, okay? Which is good. You've got the right to come here every meeting, but it's getting to be old news for me. So, what my recommendation for you is pretty simple.
What's old news? Could you clarify?
Old news, you keep telling us, just what you said is old news. You bring it every meeting, so I want to give you some advice. Why don't you contact the DEC,
We have.
the governor's office, the EAP, the state senator, the 2 U.S. state senators, our state senator for the state, O'Mara, our assembly person, Mr. Galligan, call the Congress people that represent this area. As far as studies go, you can do 200 studies, and the landfill can do 200 studies. And there's going to be polarization on each side. Look, no matter what subject you come up with, economists, economy, it doesn't matter. People that say XYZ over here and ABC over here. If you want to get something done on this landfill, there's nothing we can do about it. Yeah, we may not vote to give them a permit, but if our intent is to close the landfill,
Our intent is to hold the business accountable.
You better talk to the people that I just recommended.
You're in charge of the town zoning office.
Rent a bus and go to Albany or the United States Congress or somewhere there.
Mr. Supervisor, may I address this with all due
People
respect?
that have the authority to do something.
May I address this, please?
So there you go. I'm giving you good advice.
I appreciate the advice.
Go ahead.
What I'd like to tell you is that from both the federal, the state, the county and the local level, we have met with every single elected or appointed representative that represents Seneca Falls or this district. We've also met with elected officials from both the federal, state, county, and local communities surrounding Seneca Falls, Mr. Council Member. So we took your advice and we're coming back to the town each month for one reason. We are getting landfill odor on a regular basis, and it's a violation of the town code.
And what is that telling you?
We're not here to debate you, we're here to give our comments. Thank you.
And I'm telling you, what does that tell you when you've been to all these... What does it tell you when you've been to all these people and they're doing absolutely nothing?
Start using the laws again.
Wow, that was fun. Jane Gilroy, 1872 Gravel Road, and I'm here every month as well, for the same reason. Where do I begin? Well, next month you're going to have a load of speakers talking about odor, so I thought I'd come tonight and talk about odor. I'll begin with the Seneca Meadows Commission study on lung cancer as reported in the Finger Lakes Times and on Finger Lakes One. The study was rebutted by Peter Mantius on multimedia outlets and on Finger Lakes One. I brought props. Here's the Peter Mantius report. Here's my odor complaints. These notebooks are odor complaints. Since I started back when my hair was red, I started collecting odor reports. Anyway, on the surface it sounded legit. I read it. But until you think about it, commissioned by Seneca Meadows and written by 2 former landfill employees connected to Waste Connections. It's a 1-month study, not a months of study as reported in the Finger Lakes Times. It's a 1-month study. And what did they study? They studied zip codes, not census tracts. Zip codes, 315. Do you know how big that is? That's Watertown, Syracuse, Rome, Utica, Seneca Falls, Seneca County, all sorts of, Weedsport, Auburn, and all the data is diluted in the study of cancer clusters. Months-long study implies months. It was 1-month study. And where did they get their information? We can't get the Department of Health to release anything. Where did they get their information? I will leave further dissection to people smarter than me. But I would like to point out that this landfill study dismisses gases, hydrogen, sulfide, and odor. But it does not mention particulates. PM 2.5. Particulates are the things causing the lung cancer. 2.5 means the microns. That's how small it is. It's smaller than a human hair. And it's inhaled into the lungs. You've heard of black lung from the coal miners breathing the coal dust. It's pretty much the same thing. Now, I have a picture that I took on the west side of the landfill on October 15th. When I enlarged it, I saw particulates. Every time that it is right there. Every time there is a dumping or a bulldozer moving trash around, we're getting particulates in the air. And that's what we're breathing. And you all can see this if you'd like. Well, there goes half of the On this day, I called and complained twice to Seneca Meadows. And I went over and I took a picture of the trash being dumped down the west side of the landfill. This is the odor reports I got back from Seneca Metals for that day. No odor reported, no landfill odor at the time of investigation. Well, the time of investigation is an hour later. They changed the direction. They turn on the odor neutralizers. They dump in a different direction. They know where the odor's going. I think maybe you all recall when Canada had wildfires, we were told don't go outside if you see brown air. This air we cannot see. It isn't any color, it's clear. But we know it's there because of the odor. And that's about what I have to say.
Anyone else for privilege of the floor?
Hello, members of the town board. My name is Aaron Paslacqua. I've worked for the street department when it was a former village, water and sewer, and then most recently with buildings maintenance. 17 and a half years total service time. What will be the process for transferring workers over to the DPW? Will those whom are transferred have to restart their probational period? Thank you for moving forward with negotiations and making this work, so thank you.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Lisa Utterbeck, and I am a school instructor in Weedsport, and I'm the president of my local unit there.
Lisa, I'm sorry, Mr. Leslie.
Utterbeack.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We appreciate your continued transparency, and we would like to know why was the DPW created outside of the public town board meetings when the resolution that was passed was tabled until November? And there were other questions that were asked earlier, and just wanting to know, is there going to be an answer to all of those questions?
Yes, there will be an answer.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hi, my name is Tony Meeks. I live on Green Street in Seneca Falls. And I guess my question is regards to the DPW. Where we're going to get the funds for this position that we're creating, and will it be a full-time position, a part-time position? What will be the qualifications, and why we really need this position when we already have what seems like enough employees, and we have this union being created? I guess I'm not understanding why we need the DPW. My next question is also, when I come to these meetings, I see most of the department heads. I fail to see Joe Timbo constantly, I feel like. And I've had several conversations with him regarding properties in town that I've looked at to purchase. And I can't tell you the disrespect. And I feel like I've inconvenienced him in conversation that I've received on the other end from him when I've had conversations with him, when I've had wonderful conversations with the gentleman in the water department, but he couldn't always answer what I was looking for, so he directed me to him, and he just didn't want to be bothered with helping me. So I'm just wondering, when all the other heads have to be here, where is he? Because this is the second or third time I haven't seen him.
Anyone else for privilege of the floor? Okay, at this time I've closed privilege of the floor. So there's been a lot of questions obviously asked about the public works. Right? The public works is not going to be hiring a massive amount of people. Public works is going to be put together, probably one person, probably just a part-time person, to organize the town. There's all these departments, we need to get them organized, okay? No one's gonna lose their job that works for the town. People might be transferred to different things, their pay will be the same, their union eligibility will be the same. The main thing with this department was hoping to resolve a lot of these flooding issues we have in town. We have a lot of employees, like you said, we have a lot of employees, we pay a lot of people money. We need someone to direct them to get stuff done, and that's not happening now, okay?
But
The
not to
highways have-
interrupt you, I don't mean to interrupt.
Well, please don't, because you're not the privileged portfolio. Let me finish, okay? All right? The highway department has their responsibilities. A lot of this stuff is outside the scope of their responsibility, okay? We need to get this stuff done. I'm tired of having people call and say, what are you doing about my drainage? Well, I have no one to send out there to put a pipe in the road, because everybody says it's not their department, it's not my job, it's not my responsibility. Well, we gotta make it someone's responsibility. I told the people when I ran that I would get things done in this town. If I don't have the employees do that, I need to put someone in charge that's gonna make the employees do it, okay? If you want things fixed, there's gotta be a path, okay? The path is not what we've been doing for the last 10 years in this town. That's why things are bad shape in this town. So if you're against the public works, you're welcome to speak out, okay? But then you can't complain about my driveway not getting fixed or my pipe not being put under the driveway so my yard doesn't flood, okay? We have to put stuff together. We need someone to run the departments. We have a lot of people in charge of different people, unorganized. I pay some people a lot of money to mow grass because they're in charge and that's what they want to do. We need to organize it. We need to have someone in charge, makes people responsible for their accountability.
Seriously.
You think putting one more person in charge is going to help? The ones that are in charge are doing the job?
That's the hope, yes. We'll give them different responsibility. Okay, we're moving on from that.
Okay, so I see something. All right.
Oh, please.
So, with the new department, who's ever going to be in charge or the town supervisor, under civil service, there'll have to be new position duty statements filled out. We don't have the authority to say what jobs are going to be in the Department of Public Works. They fill out a duty statement, they'll go to the county, to the personnel officer. It happens to be a woman, Laura Granger. She will review the duty statement and she will put the job titles on the positions. We'll fill the information out here, ship it up to the county, and she'll put the titles onto it. Now, if people transfer from other departments into the department, then there is a transfer rule in the rules of Seneca County. I don't have it right here in front of me, and I can't remember it because I used to administer it. But whether there's a probationary period or not, I'm not 100% sure. We'd actually have to look at that transfer rule in the county civil service rules. But the titles that are going to be in there will be determined by the county. We will fill out the paperwork, send it up there. They'll all be new positions. Probably they're going to be MEO titles, labor titles, maintainer titles, things on that order. That's what we're thinking. We're not thinking about creating any special new title that's never existed before. We're going to fill the forms out so it looks and appears like MEOs, laborers, or maintainers. You know, but it'll be up to the county civil service to tell us what titles are going to be there. And like I said, as far as the transfer rule, don't have it. You know, Laura will tell us, you know, what if there is a probationary period or not. Or Don can go up and find out. He works right there to find out. So that's how that's going to work as far as the titles go. And then the employees will decide if they want to transfer over. You know, we can make a rule that it can be done by seniority, or it can be done by the least seniority person would get the bid first. We'll work something out, you know, but that's how it's going to work, basically.
So, I have a question. No, I have a question. So, we have a highway...
I'll give you a second to talk.
I'm talking now.
No, you're
so
not.
We have a highway department already that has been doing this work since 2012. The Seneca County Highway Department does the same kind of work, meaning they do the pipes, they do the infrastructure. So why are we going to take all of Jeremy's guys, move them to a DPW because they're not qualified at the highway department, but they're going to be qualified at the DPW, It makes no sense to pay another salary for somebody to run the same department that Jeremy has going on now. I'm just curious. And I have that right to be curious as a town worker. We are creating another position. We are gonna give the guy even more money, and we're gonna take the same unqualified people that you guys are assuming and move them over there and say they're qualified now. I don't understand the reasoning behind that when Jeremy can do the same work that you're gonna have that done over there. That's my question.
Okay. John, you have
Frank,
something?
hold on. I didn't appreciate that comment. I'm the guy you're referring to as taking care of lawns. When I signed up for this job, please, I'm asking you to be respectful and not roll your eyes at me. I'm asking you to listen and hear me out. All duties assigned is on each and every one of our, is it or is it not? So, you could tell everybody what my wages are, and you could tell everybody what my guys' wages are. $21 an hour to mow grass, okay? 21. They're not killing it. Poverty, okay? I may be doing a little bit better, but all duties assigned. That's my job to make sure what they don't get done, I back up and get it done. It was your idea to take on these delinquent lawns, okay? And we don't get shit for that either. We don't get anything back. So if that's an issue and you're trying to create a DPW, how is that an issue for me going out and doing all duties assigned? I helped Jeremy, I've helped the water and sewer, and I'm sorry. And I know they appreciate it, whether or not Joe appreciates it or not, he's not here to answer that question. But I take great offense to that, paying a lot of money, because that's my job. What they don't get done, I go back up and make sure it's taken care of. And I shouldn't be demonized here in front of the public.
Nobody's demonized anyone.
Well,
Don, you have something to say?
That's a narcissist.
Sorry, thank you.
I just wanted to question.
It's pretty funny, Pete.
We're not, I thought we weren't having a probation period for the people who move over to the.
I don't know what the transfer rule says. I have no idea.
Okay, so with that said,
Some of the questions that they have.
I don't know, but I just heard the question today.
But can you use your mic? We can't hear you back here. Sorry.
Thank you for letting us know.
So my question is, what, is there a probation period and why is there a probation period? I thought if they moved over, that it was not going to be a probationary period. It would just, they're already employees. So
I understand, but all I'm saying, there are county civil service rules, and there is a rule specifically in those rules, it's called a transfer rule. Okay, so whatever that transfer rule says, that's what the town will have to abide by, just like every town and school district in this county and the county employees have to abide by that. I don't know what it is. I just said if it's in the rule, if there's a probationary period outlined in the rule, then that's what it is. If there isn't, then that isn't a problem. I don't know. But I'm just trying to tell them.
But my concern is that we're going to be adopting a budget, moving money around and taking money out of, for the moving the employees, we're moving that. How can we do that if now this brings up so much?
Did you guys already put out an email or a text message to all the employees too that there would be no probation?
Yes.
I do believe I have other messages that have been sent to the employees that said there would be no probation on it.
It's the questions that are being raised, and now that comment, that's not what we talked about at all.
No idea.
Well, you can't just come in, we can't just switch things up after, and we have to slow
We're
it
just in the
down.
process of doing this.
Then I'm not gonna vote in
We're
favor
not
of the
voting for it
budget.
today.
We're not voting on it today.
The budget?
How's it gonna change the budget?
How does it change the
We
budget?
could just transfer, if it doesn't play, we just transfer it from one to the other down the road. It's not gonna cost any more money. The festival shouldn't be any more. You're not hiring more people. Just one person is running.
I'm not comfortable moving that money, or removing it from highway until these are sorted out.
You got your vote.
I do.
Okay, moving on, can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the October 1st and October 10th meeting?
I'll make the motion.
And a second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So carried. I have a motion to accept communications I through 11, 1 through 11.
Make a motion. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Special events, motion,
I couldn't find the 5K one. The only one that I had was the original for the same thing.
I think that was also last October.
I didn't see it in the packet.
Can I just make a comment to the special events? Can we make sure that they're signed off on before they come to us? Because they can't, this happens every year, and it has to stop, you know, because it's, they need to get everything in ahead of time.
Still be wrong with them, both of them.
Well, then,
So the It's a Wonderful Life detail, not the 5K, we have the paperwork right here that they just got it Friday. So she was working on getting the insurance paperwork, she got that. The only thing she doesn't have right now is the DOT permit for the parade on Fall Street, which she got that submitted. They changed the part to dismiss some of the paperwork, so I helped her find it. I talked to DOT, got the paperwork to her, so she's gonna have it. It's just gonna come in, sometime toward the end of the month. That one's gonna be all set. The 5K, they're still waiting on the permit and insurance. I talked to Tina Rook about that the other day, and she's got the paperwork submitted. We're waiting for that to come in as well. So that's why it's not signed into you yet, because we told them that we want the paperwork well ahead of time to be able to get it to the board to sign, so everything's in order. Heidi actually started this back at the end of August, September, and she's still trying to get it, so she is going to start earlier next year as well. So nothing changes. That's what I told her. You get going on this as early as you can. So I don't know if Heidi's here today or not. There she is. So, but she's got the paperwork. I'm comfortable with that one. I know that's coming in.
for both?
Yep, if the board wants to vote pendant on the DOT permits for the 5K and for the event and the insurance for the 5K, I'm comfortable with the board vote yes. If they don't come through, I'll have to vote no.
I'll make the motion that we do a pending approval of it.
Second. Discussion. All in favor of amendment?
Aye.
Aye. And as soon as we get that, I'll email the board and let you know that we could officially have it.
Okay, thank you.
So we have a motion to accept this pending the signatures, signing off of all the departments. Got a motion to accept it?
I make the motion.
Anyone second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
Coming from the link.
Okay, this time I'm going to report on some of the projects going on in the town. The DRI projects is going really well. We have 3 of them broken down. One's the canal side that's behind the buildings between the canal and the downtown district. The bid has been accepted. The work, depending on the weather, might start sooner, also start in spring. Nevertheless, it'll be done by October of next year. The skateboard park will be definitely done this year. I think right after Thanksgiving, the rest of the material will come in so they can do the skateboard park, get that finished. The museum part of it is going, the bid's going out shortly. It would have been out already, but there's a few changes that were made to get new windows and stuff added into that, so that'll be out. So by next year, October, all the DRI projects should be done for the town. I want to thank you, Tricia Caravallo. She's the one who painted the garage down next door. Different colors. She did a really nice job of it on her own time. So I really appreciate that and thank her. Miller Street. So this is one of those projects. We had that flooding a while back. I've been pushing really hard to the engineers, and we have it out to bid. We're actually going to open the bids tomorrow, so we're hoping to have that done no later than the completion. They have to have it by April of 2025. So hopefully we don't get a major rainstorm before that's done, and that'll help all those houses out on Miller Street and in that area. So that we'll know more about that next month when they're going to do it. The Johnson Street project, that hit a snag, but it's currently resolved and should be completed by April or possibly sooner. So I also had Nice Egg reach out to me. They're going to be installing in this town and all around smart meters for your gas and electric. It's up to 2 years, so you might not see them for 2 years. You might see them next week. They really don't have a timeline on it. They just wanted us to let people know that they'll be showing up. They'll have credentials and all that, and there'll be no increase in your bill. They tell me because of that. But that really has nothing to do with us. It's just more information.
Do you have to be home when they install the new meters?
Now, if the meters are outside, and I think everybody's probably are outside at this point. If they're not, you'd have to get inside, and they will reach out to you. It's going to be a lot like you did with our water meters, but I mean, we have not, the town itself has nothing to do with it. It's more of a public information. They've asked all us supervisors throughout to let our people
But
know.
they'll have identification on them when they're
Right,
on.
they'll call you ahead and stuff like that, and they'll have hangers on the door if you're not there to come back and stuff like that. So another thing I just want to mention to people, there's been a lot of good things happening downtown. We've had opening of new restaurants and alcohol establishments. It would be nice if local residents would support downtown. I think you'll find a lot to do down there. We have a very wide assortment of restaurants, a local brewery, a speakeasy, and many shops selling local merchandise. So it'd be nice if people in this town started supporting that and went down. I think you'd be pleasantly surprised how the different restaurants and stuff that are down there and the merchandise you can buy. All right, that's all I had to report at this time. Yeah.
So everybody's going to be getting a little postcard in the mail in the coming weeks here. It is letting you know that the town is required by the EPA to take a inventory of the service lines for your water, and basically the EPA wants to know how many lead service lines there are. We don't know if they're underground. That's why you're being notified that we need to look. So there'll be a postcard, and then probably in your bill, and there's phone numbers on here, QR code. You can do all kinds of fun stuff on the internet with it. So look out for it. That's all. You can call and talk to Tom because he really wants to talk to you.
Okay, under old business, we have a resolution for the water and sewer budget transfer. Have a motion to accept it.
Motion. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
This is budget. This is not tax, but this was budget, right? The transfer.
Transfer budget. So,
Okay, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Okay. We move on to new business. We have a resolution scheduling service agreement with Train US.
I'll make a motion that we table this until next month. Just want to do some more research in terms of potential quotes.
I'll second it.
Any discussion on the new motion? Okay, so we have an amendment to the motion to table it for 1 month.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. We have a resolution authorizing advertising for bid sedimentation improvement projects.
Make a motion.
A second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. I have a resolution for provisional appointment of Malik Cisco to senior clerk.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. I have a resolution to surplus park and recreation skate park ramp.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Okay. A resolution for sidewalk improvement reimbursement program.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. I have a resolution for water lease and pool credits.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So So carried. Have a resolution to purchase chemical pumps for the wastewater treatment plant.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second.
Discussion.
Were these from the bids that you got? No?
That was the generator.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Have a resolution, the year-end budget transfer December 31st, 2023 to be recorded as of September 30th, 2024. Any discussion? Motion accept?
Make a motion.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Have a resolution to first two public safety visual intelligence software for the Seneca Falls PD.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
This is through a grant, Tim?
Yes.
Okay, it's paid for by a grant?
Yes.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Can we cancel after 1 year if the grant doesn't
If it
continue?
doesn't work, and we choose not to go with it, if I still have grant money, I can use it where I can budget for it, and set it down for that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Resolution purchase of service hours for integrated system.
I'll make a motion.
Purchase $200.
200 more hours, right?
Correct. But we're not locked into it, so if we terminate it, we have to pay just an hourly rate if they come.
We'll be looking at, we'll be looking at alternatives for
Right,
the
yeah.
future. Right.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Any discussion, more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. I have a resolution approval of 2025 amendment to the municipal corporation agreement for the Greater Tompkins County. We're taking that off the table. We're not going to be able to do that this year due to union being put into play. Resolution adopting proposed local law for 2024.
Do they, going back to the,
Discussion.
yes, are the employees aware that there's no changes made to their insurance?
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, yeah.
Tracy set up the public,
There's
the
an
open
email?
enrollment meeting.
That's tomorrow, the open enrollment meeting for them at the rec center.
So they don't have any other option, just what we have right now?
Yeah. They can basically stay in sync instead of going into distortion. But we can look into that again next year. We talk to them and they understand the dilemma and I don't think they're going to exclude us if we want to. No. Next year, get back.
Okay.
So.
So Frank, local law 4 would have been the 2% budgetary override. So if we did not hold a public hearing, so if we're not doing that, we do not need to proceed with that resolution.
Answer that one. Thank you, Pat. I have a resolution to adopt local law number 5, local law providing for the appointment and compensation of a deputy town clerk for the town of Seneca Falls.
I'll make a motion.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Resolution to adopt local law 6, Heritage Preservation Commission.
Make a motion.
Second.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
That's it. You said there was something 7, local law 7? Is that the one you were also looking at?
Oh, no.
The
7 is.
solar energy.
All right, that's not, we're not doing that tonight.
Okay.
I guess put that in for this one. No, the one left should be that last one.
Yep, it's on the back.
Okay, I have a resolution to replace sidewalks in front of Burger King for $7,500.
Make a motion. Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye. When will they be able to start this?
Next couple weeks.
Resolution authorizing settlement agreement in Phone versus Town of Seneca Falls. So I'm going to let you people know more about that. Therefore, be resolved, the town site calls through settling this action by paying $60,000 to Jamie Football and authorize the supervisor to execute a settlement agreement with those terms and any further documents necessary to resolve this litigation. I have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Have a second.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. You don't have it in your packet, but I'm going to have a motion to accept this year's budget as Peter explained it to us. Have a motion to accept the budget.
Make a motion.
And a
I'll
second.
second it.
Discussion.
How are we gonna accept the budget when we don't know about the WPW? Like,
We passed the resolution on it, we're going to create it.
right, I know, but we still don't know how many people we're gonna have, how many,
The most it's going to be is probably one more part-time employee, that would be it. We budgeted for that. We're not going to be hiring 10 or 12 people. When we have people in town, we're just trying to organize the town to get stuff done. And I understand why we're making this out more than it really is going to be. I mean, we've discussed this. I mean, we can discuss more in executive session.
How does a part-time employee come in the morning, oversee the workers, start their job, then they go off to their job, and then what do? Come back in the afternoon and check on what they did?
How much is this?
I mean, because my husband runs $1 million jobs, and he goes from airports to throughway to other things, and he has like people that he truly trusts in charge. And it sounds like to me, you don't trust these people, so they need to be watched more than part-time. I'm just asking.
Okay, so we're back to, are we going to have a motion to accept the budget in a second? Are we on discussion besides what we talked about?
It kind of changes some of the things we talked
I have the
about.
And how much are we gonna pay this person?
Yeah.
Are we budgeting for
I
it?
got the rules. The rules on transfer. If an employee transfers, there is a 26-week probationary period. But if the town board, under the waiver section, the appointing authority, which is us, over the position to which the transfer is sought, they elect to waive the probationary period, and a written notification of the transferee and we tell the transferee, and we send a letter to the personnel officer, and there is no probationary period. So it's up to us if there's going to be a probationary period.
Well, I would,
So I just looked it up. But I have all the rules.
I understand that, but I wish I would have had the rules and the solid answers in writing ahead of time. Like, it doesn't, so what are we gonna decide? Are we gonna waive the probation? I mean, these are things that we have to talk about.
I'm in favor of waiving the probationary period.
I would be in favor of waiving that as
I would
well.
hope so.
I mean, it's not fair to the people who have been working here to go to another department and then have to start all over
You
again.
just have to write a letter to the county personnel officer. I'm in favor, I'll make a motion, we waive the rule for probation on
No.
transfers.
Okay, now, the other part is that, was I understanding you correctly, that Laura Granger's gonna be back in touch as to what titles can be transferred?
Well, no. What would happen is, in order to, when we created the department, now you've got to figure out what positions are going to be in there. So it's going to be up to the town supervisor to do these duty statements, these new position duty statements, okay? And then send them up to Laura Granger, and then she will tell the town what the titles are for the job. The same thing, I'll pick on Malik. Malik, the guy we just, Missy, wherever she is, she filled out a reclassification questionnaire, okay? It was sent up to the personnel department, they reviewed it, she filled out the form, sent it to the personnel, and they came up with that title of senior clerk, correct? And so that's how it's done all over the state of New York. We're no different. If we're creating a department, which we've done, in order to get positions in there, we need to fill out the paperwork now for civil service. That's the next step. You can't hire anybody or transfer anybody until we do the paperwork. We don't know what the titles are.
But then
I have a question.
why are we
So when they make these duties to these employees,
How do you know what
one of
the
the
pay is?
employees that are you're trying to transfer over or offer to transfer over don't meet these qualifications, what do you do with the employees? They don't meet these qualifications.
I can't, I'm sorry, I can't hear you, Jeremy, I'm sorry.
Jeremy is asking, when we do the duty statement, what if the employees don't meet the qualifications?
What are you doing with the employees?
And it's like I said, chances are 99.9% they're either going to be MEOs, laborers, or maintainers. Those are the three titles there's going to be. And obviously, there'll be we'll do a duty statement on the person that's going to be in charge, and they'll come up with a title, what it's going to be. So, yeah, that's the story. It's pretty simple. I think there aren't going to be many changes in the title. What other titles are there for people that work in the DPW, Department of Public Works? They're either going to be laborers, MEOs, or maintainers.
All right, any more discussion on the budget? All in favor of adopting the budget, say aye.
That's how it works.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Carried 3-2. Can I have a motion to pay the bills?
I'll make the motion to pay the bills.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor of paying the bills?
Aye.
Opposed? Pay the bills. This time I'm going to make a motion for executive session discussion, which is limited to discussion related to proposed pending or current litigation. A motion going to executive
I'll make a
session.
motion to go into executive session.
A second. Any discussion? All in favor? That concludes our meeting. We expect no action when we come out of executive session.
Good. That's it. Good.